Today we're going to stick with 1980, that exact year. We're going to set the stage. It is the 80s. A horror section at your local VHS rental store is where the magic happens. Filled with the kind of gloriously gory covers that practically beg you to make a bad decision. And in that section, zombie movies reigned supreme. They weren't just your typical undead shufflers. They were loud, chaotic, and sometimes so wild they didn't even make sense, but that was their charm. Welcome back to Gen X Horror, the channel where we don't just revisit the past, we unearth it, we dust it off, and give it the love it deserves. I'm Steve, your resident Gen Xer and guide to all things nostalgic, and today we're digging up a treasure trove of 80s zombie movies. These aren't your household names. Nah, this is the deep-cut stuff. The kind of films that make you wonder how they were ever made, and why you haven't heard of them. We've got a little bit of everything here in this lineup. We're sprinting radioactive zombies, undead children, cursed criminals, and even some questionable experiments with cannibals thrown in for good measure. It's peak 80s horror. It's messy, it's ambitious, and it's totally unforgettable. And hey, if you're still here, it's clear you're one of us. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and let's take this undead journey together. If you're ready to relive the madness, let's get to it. The first movie on this terrifying tour is Beyond Terror from 1980, and they're all going to be from exactly 1980. Now this one is a Spanish horror flick that throws every scary idea it can think of into a blender. It's got vengeful curses, demonic possession, and of course, it's got zombies. The plot follows a gang of criminals who make the rookie mistake of messing with supernatural forces they don't quite understand. And the result is a relentless wave of nightmares and gore. The movie is less about a tight story and more about atmosphere, and trust me, it's got that in spades. Beyond Terror is a cult favorite for fans of Euro horror, and it's not hard to see why. The practical effects are raw and gritty, and even though the budget was low, the creativity shines through. Sure, it's not for everyone, but if you're into creepy vibes over perfect plot lines, this one's worth checking out. I don't know if you've seen this one yet or if you think it sounds insane, but let me know in the comments because this one is a wild ride. Alright gang, speaking of wild rides, let's talk about Nightmare City. Again, this is 1980. We could forget slow-moving zombies because this movie has radioactive undead who actually sprint and use weapons and chug blood like they're at a wine tasting. This one's directed by Umberto Lenzi, and it's an Italian-Spanish flick about a TV journalist caught in the middle of an outbreak while also trying to uncover the shady government conspiracy that's behind it all. What's crazy is that Nightmare City came way before movies like 28 Days Later. It's proving that fast zombies were terrifying long before Hollywood picked up on the trend. I mean, sure, the effects are a little cheesy and some of the acting is hilariously over the top, but that's really part of its charm. This is 80s chaos at its finest. Let me ask you this, what do you think? Are fast zombies scarier, or does it feel like cheating? I'm dying to hear your take on it, and for me, I need a nice slow zombie. I mean, after all, they are half dead. How fast can they be? Now let's get into some independent territory with Fiend. This is 1980 again, and this is a Baltimore-made gem that takes a super unique approach to zombies. But in this one, a glowing floating light possesses a corpse and turns it into a life-sucking undead creature. You absolutely heard that right, a life-sucking zombie. The creature has to drain the living to stay animated and somewhat alive, and it's as creepy as it sounds. This movie plays into classic 80s suburban paranoia, the idea that your quiet, polite neighbor might actually be hiding something horrifying. Critics weren't exactly kind to Fiend when it came out, but over the years, it's earned a cult following for its weirdness and its creativity. So here's a question for you. Would you rather face an all-out zombie apocalypse or find out your next-door neighbor is an energy-sucking fiend? Well, if you're ready for more gore, we definitely got a few more, so let's say hello to Cannibals in the Streets. It's also known in some circles as Zombie Holocaust, and I'm sure you already know that. This one's a hybrid of, you guessed it, cannibals and zombies. Scientists were messing around with human tissue and accidentally unleashed a plague, and suddenly we're in the middle of a bloody urban nightmare. A fun fact about this one is this movie reused sets from Lucio Fulci's Zombie. So if you feel like you're having deja vu, That's exactly why. This one is gross and chaotic, and it's definitely peak 80s shock horror. Plus, it taps into the decade's fear of unethical science experiments gone horribly wrong, and man, do so many of them go horribly wrong. So I'll ask you this, if it's cannibals or zombies, which one creeps you out more? For me, it's still going to be zombies. Zombie hordes, to be specific. But as long as they're slow-moving, shuffling hordes, I think we're going to be okay. Now we come to an odd one. It's the children. So, zombie kids might not be new territory now, but in 1980, this was pure nightmares. The story revolves around a toxic gas leak in a small New England town that turns kids into undead killers, and maybe technically they're not zombies, but they look freaky. Their touch literally burns you to death, which is as terrifying as it sounds. Critics didn't love this one when it came out, but it's become one of those movies you can't forget once you've seen it. It's also paved the way for creepy kid horror movies like Pet Sematary, so its influence is purely undeniable. The thing about this one is you take what a kid is, and if you're a parent, you want to hug your kids all the time. A kid stands there with their arms outstretched, and you automatically walk up and wrap your arms around him or her and squeeze tight. In this case, it means certain death, and I think that's what the kids are counting on. So is there anything scarier to you than zombie kids? Because I'm not sure I could think of something worse. Now that's 5 zombie movies from literally 1980. Most people have forgotten about these, but they absolutely deserve another look. These aren't just gore fests, they're time capsules of the decade capturing fears of nuclear disasters, shady science experiments, and even suburban paranoia. They're messy, they're gritty, they're ambitious, and exactly what we love about 80s horror. So what do you guys think? Did I miss any hidden zombie gems, or did I just help you find your next late-night movie marathon pick? That's my hope. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your horror movie hot takes, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow Gen X horror fans. Until next time, as always, stay spooky, keep that VHS player running, and maybe don't trust your neighbors too much. Stay cool, everyone.